Welcome, welcome, and bienvenidas. I want to thank you, if this is your first time listening to Tech and Tequila, for joining us today. If you've been listening, you are in for a super treat because we have, I would say, the infamous, the amazing Anthony Saitta here, who is now with Claro US, to talk to us about a couple of ways Claro can give you the gift of cybersecurity for this holiday.
Welcome, welcome, and bienvenidas. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, Tech and Tequila. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kat Lopez Shelby, and I'm the founder and CEO of Shelby Technology Solutions. But more importantly, you're here for Tech and Tequila, where we learn a lot about tech, and we may have some nice tequila drinks while we're at it. If you're new here, Tech and Tequila is all about everything technology-based for your business. So what that means is we have suppliers on here to talk about how they can help you grow your business. We, have mindset coaches on here talking about how to help you grow your business. We're all about business and basically introducing you to different suppliers and different ways that help you within your business.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me on the podcast today. We really appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to sharing some things that Claro's doing from a cybersecurity standpoint. And we actually continue to revamp our product offering, thanks to the addition of Scott Henkel, who is our new product director of cybersecurity here at Claro Enterprise Solutions. And we're really excited to have him, and looking forward to all the things that he's bringing to the table.
That is exciting. So I have known about Claro and worked with you guys for a while, but for anyone who's listening and maybe hasn't heard of Claro US or has heard of Claro solely more with the Latin American markets, what would you like to tell them about Claro and, really what it brings to the table here in the US?
Traditionally, Claro has made its name for, our presence in Latin America. We provide a variety of different solutions. In fact, if you go on our website, you'll see that we probably offer just about everything. But we've gotten our name from data and connectivity in the Latin American market. But for Claro Enterprise Solutions, we are the U.S. arm here in the channel for our parent company, America Movil. So out of the 181,000 or so employees, Claro, I'll just say Claro Enterprise Solutions, CES, we represent about 300 of those employees. And we're focusing here in the States on IoT, cybersecurity, and managed cloud services. And, with that, we're seeing a lot of great success here in the U.S. Lots of folks are buying into our AI video analytics product. That's providing the most use cases in the actual industry right now, and it's the buzz that we're excited about, and it continues to grow here.
I really like that you pointed out your video AI analytics, because I think that is one of the game changing offers that you guys have. Can you go a little more in depth and talk about that and any use cases that you've had with it recently?
No, absolutely. AI video analytics, it's a great product that we have right now. And I'll kind of get to it where, we don't want to stop with just the video surveillance aspect of it. We kind of try to call it cyber physical security. So it's a great balance between AI technology and then the physical security aspect, that companies or schools or municipalities are all looking forward to. One of the great things about our offering is that we traditionally bill on an OpEx model versus CapEx. We're flexible in that regard. The biggest thing there as well is the ability to integrate with an existing surveillance system. So what does that mean to the customer? They already have, XYZ amount of cameras, on campus or on property or at their various locations, around the globe. We will just work with those existing cameras as long as they're 1080p compatible, and can handle RTSB streaming capabilities. And that won't stop us there at that point. We do have a professional services aspect and a development team to where if it's not available today or if it's something that we can't integrate with today, we will still build it.
I really like that you pointed that out, because I know with like AI and any new tech, a lot of time businesses are kind of hesitant to take like dip in or start the whole process, because you're having to either get new equipment or anything, where your AI video, like you said, it can work on top of your existing cameras. So it's really just an added benefit to help.
Correct. I mean, we pretty much build an appliance that will go into the client security, IT or security room, and based off of how many use cases, how many cameras, the complexity of the solution, we'll build that appliance that'll just connect right into their existing IT infrastructure that's already there. And I do want to point out that we are Department of Homeland Security certified under the Current Safety Act. And that just gives us the ability to sell into certain government agencies that without that specific certification, our opportunity within those organizations is over before it starts. But it just gives us the flexibility to go deep and wide, in those government agencies.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect place to start with a security discussion, because we're talking about AI video analytics. So that's really, it's kind of a mix between your physical security, because it is something where you're looking at people. But when it comes to your security stack, can you elaborate a little bit more on your cybersecurity portfolio and what all it has to offer?
Absolutely. Like I said in the beginning, we're traditionally known for our connectivity in Latin America, and it's just kind of grown from there. We're in 27 different countries today, and we do offer a full suite of cybersecurity products that through our professional services team and development, we can manage all of these different aspects together. Everything all the way from the bottom, where we're talking about security awareness training. You got managed endpoint detection and response. You got zero trust, secure managed LAN, cyber SOC. We have multiple flavors in that offering as well. Penetration testing, we have a couple different plans there as well. And we also do vulnerability management. And then the team of resources that we have in place today, we'll be able to tie all those resources together. You don't necessarily have to get all of that stuff through us. But one of the things I mentioned earlier is that Scott Henkel is looking into bundling some services to where we can offer you a security awareness training product that will tie right into our zero trust and provide it at an affordable rate and keep that client secure and compliant with all the rules and regulations that they have to stay on top of.
A lot of times I think when business owners, especially in the SMB and the medium business size space, start looking at cybersecurity, it can be overwhelming. Do you have any recommendations about what, like yourself or Claro says, let's start here and we can work from there?
Everything starts with a conversation and an open mind. Cybersecurity, it's the elephant in the room. It's a big egg to crack. But at the end of the day, we're talking about insurance. It's not a matter of when or, it's not a matter of if or when it's going to happen. We're just trying to do whatever we can to help, slow that process down and make sure that clients are going to be not susceptible to as much risk as they would be if they didn't have the insurance. My recommendation would be, I would simply just start with a security awareness training just to see what they have, where the vulnerabilities are, what could potentially hurt them, what applications are more at risk than others. And, that's a really good starting point. And like I said, it'll tie right into the other products that we do offer with regards to cybersecurity.
Yeah. And I was going to say, just you can protect yourself as like a business owner, as anybody in a business, because what's between the floor and the computer or the floor and the device, training them helps you, because the statistics on this are anywhere from 85 to 90% is human error that leads to some type of, or we use the term human error, but, basically having a lax policy. So I definitely think that training is huge. You talked about one thing a little briefly, and I know that it's, I would say trend, but it's something that people talk about a lot these days, and that is a zero trust cybersecurity posture, a philosophy. What are Claro's core principles of that? And then in particular, how do you feel that protects against like unauthorized access?
There's several tools within the zero entrust point security offering that we have. Whether it's ring fencing, limiting what applications you can and can use, or to what degree. Allow listing. We have elevation control, storage control. But at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is limit what trusted applications can do, and that way, if there is a risk that takes place, they cannot use those specific applications as weaponization to pretty much cripple the entire company at that point. Whether that's financially or just access to their information, or probably all the above, depending upon, what type of an attack it would be at that point.
Well, I think what it does is, in more of a legacy non-zero trust network infrastructure, is there's always the possibility that somebody who's a C-level would have the same permissions as an admin assistant. And when you put zero trust in place, you're going, no, my C-level should have all this, whereas they should have this. And if they're trying to get into those, then that, puts up a red flag, so to speak, a flare.
Absolutely. And right now we're leading the industry in response time. So I don't know if you're aware of the average response time to an attack or a threat is, but it's roughly about 3 or 4 hours. And we're tending to our clients right now in 45 minutes or less.
Which that right there is huge, because if your response time is that quickly and you're getting on top of that, then they'll be back up and going a lot faster, which helps with obviously the money aspect of that.
Yes, we'll react a lot quicker, which means we'll hopefully get it resolved a lot quicker as well. And we'll be able to support these clients in a bilingual fashion. So
I know that tends to be a must here in Texas. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That really leads into a secondary question. And, everyone is looking to move to the cloud these days. What distinguishes Claro's managed cloud services from other providers?
We have an extensive, cloud services offering as well. And for today, I'll probably just focus mainly on the Office 365 environment. And we actually recently launched, number one, support is a lost art, in telecom and IT these days. And, there's a lot of big companies out there doing a lot of great things and offering a lot of fantastic products. But when it comes to when something's not working, it's not up to par. There's been a threat, there's been an attack, or you need help. Well, 800 numbers aren't always going to cut it. You need that one back to pat, one throat to choke, however you want to look at it, will be that support for those clients. But one of the really interesting things that we started offering, and this is recently, is a free risk assessment, depending upon the size of the opportunity. And I say free. At the end of the day, it's going to identify, vulnerabilities, risks, because a lot of companies think that if they're already in an Office 365 environment, whether cloud, whether it's hosted on site or whatever the situation may be, or they're migrating to an Office 365 environment, they think all those applications come with some level of security, and they do, but that doesn't mean that you're fully protected. And this is a free comprehensive risk assessment that'll identify so many things that you may not have been aware of that are there, whether it's application based, whether it's in the environment, whether it's personal information tied to social security numbers, payment information. We'll be able to identify those risks through this assessment, and then we'll share those with the client. There's companies out there that aren't even providing this, as a free cost at this point, and it could be north of $10,000 just to have that information before you have an opportunity to react. We'll give that to the client in hopes that they will start working with us and partnering with us for their cybersecurity needs moving forward.
So you've covered a lot of information, but one of the things that is so important in this day and age, and I think you kind of briefly touched on it, and that is that customer experience for your clients, obviously. But how does Claro stand out in that? And what are things that you guys do that's different from any other supplier or a difference?
This is actually the first company I've worked for where the sales department is actually quadrupled by the marketing department. So, from a support standpoint for our partners and their needs, for our clients, our supporting departments are here and we all work collectively as a team, which is the end goal, is that customer experience. The client themselves, once they become an active billing client of ours, they'll have access to all their account information through an online portal as well. There's going to be certain level of access to make certain changes on there, depending upon what products they have. But more importantly, especially for the partner community that we have, we recently launched our partner portal, which has become a fantastic repository. And while I love to tend to my partners and clients all day long, sharing, one-pagers, webinar information, events that we'll be at throughout the country, this is a one-stop shop to where they can look at videos, they can look at use cases, whether it's finance, healthcare, retail, government education. There's something in this tool for that client, for that partner to enable them to go out and be even more successful than they are today. And, it's broken up to a couple of different layers between all of our pillars, which is, IoT, cybersecurity, managed cloud services, managed network on there. So we don't want to ignore that, we have a vast network out there. And it's just a one-stop shop that just keeps everything simple. And, it takes literally like 15 minutes to walk a partner through it. And so many folks are already seeing the value in that. But I'm certainly not going to stray away from the request for marketing and information and anything that they could possibly need. There's case studies on there. One of our proudest moments is we talked about Office 365, and the city of Paris right here in our backyard in Texas has become a very, very large client of ours. Signing up for SD-WAN, Office 365, and also some security products as well. So they're moving and shaking over there, and we're hoping that city leads to several other municipalities here, both in Texas and around the country. Hop on board the Claro train.
Yeah, and I think that's, first off, I love it as being someone who works with Claro, is having access to that information, because not that I don't want to call you and text you and bug you, but if I need it or I'm trying to work on it, it's a lot faster for me to hop on the portal. And I think or I should say, I feel that leads into kind of the customer experience, because, you guys are really hands-on when you're working with a client, and you're, whether that's the AI video or IoT Internet of Things. I was going to say, if you had to narrow it down to like 3 things where you feel like this is really Claro's strong point, what would those be?
I would have to say our AI video analytics is first and foremost number 1. Number 2, asset insight. Number 3, cybersecurity products. And then I would say 3A, we don't want to ignore our friends south of the border. We have a great presence from a network standpoint through our sister companies underneath the America Movil blanket, whether it's Telmex in Mexico, Embratel, we're all on the same team.
Yeah, and I love that, because, it gives you that international perspective, where if you have a client that needs to have international presence, you guys already have that taken care of. So you're not having to jump through hoops to try to make it happen.
Correct. Absolutely. And, with AI video analytics, being, top of mind with a lot of my discussions, we offer the most use cases in the industry right now, over a couple of dozen. Whether it's weapons detection, smoke, fire, facial recognition, recognizing license plates, object detection. If it's an elderly home, fall detection, that's big these days. And, kind of like I said before, if there's a use case out there that the client wants, we have our professional services team and development where it'll take roughly 4 to 6 weeks to come up with, to train the AI and to provide those use cases for that specific client. So if it's not one of the couple dozen that we have today, we'll build it.
Well, and I love that. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, so to speak, because you guys are covering these businesses or your clients for anything from physical security with your AI video analytics, all the way to making sure that, they're getting the training. You've got the SOC, the EDR, the MDR, and full, I say it's the whole enchilada, so to speak, that you're willing to take care of.
Absolutely. We just like to be easy to work with, flexible, and provide it all at an affordable rate for the client.
Love it, love it. So how, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you or per se get some more information on Claro, would you recommend going about and doing that?
Well, one, my cell phone's available for anybody, so you can call me anytime you want. Work email. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I can share that portal information that'll help someone get started on some of the things to, maybe they're more visual and want to see a video of some use cases for AI video analytics, or what we're doing from an Office 365 migration standpoint and that risk assessment that I shared. That's all there on the portal, but I'm very easy to reach. Just a simple phone call, email, text. Just want to be adhering to whatever communication that partner prefers. That's how I'll communicate with them and go from there. But we want to be easy to find, easy to work with, and obviously providing solutions for business problems.
I don't want to overuse this term, one-stop shop, but you guys definitely have everything covered. So if you haven't looked into Claro US, definitely check out Anthony on LinkedIn. Obviously give myself a call because I can function as your trusted technology advisor as well. But, I think we covered the most of it. When you think of Claro, think the fact that you guys can work internationally. You have amazing video AI analytics that can be utilized on someone's existing equipment. They don't have to buy a whole new thing. And when it comes to cybersecurity, pretty much the whole alphabet from A to Z, you guys have it covered and can take care of it.
We like to be that way. We want to be there for our partners, and we want to be there for our clients. And we're very aggressive here in the States in this market. So if there's something out there that fits into any of those buckets, give us a shout, and we look forward to that opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. And if you happen to be in Texas, Anthony's hop on a flight, get on a Von Lane, or get in the car and come see you. He's actually been out to West Texas, so I can vouch for you. That's for sure.
I'm all over the place. I'll go wherever I'm asked to go and wherever I need to be.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on Tech and Tequila today, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Tech and Tequila. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. To stay updated about all things tech and more, don't forget to visit us at our website, shelbyts.com. If you loved what you heard, remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our podcast. Your 5-star ratings and reviews mean the world to us and help us to reach more listeners just like you. So muchas gracias again for joining us with Tech and Tequila. Thank you so much. You learned a lot about tech, and maybe you had a nice drink of tequila.